Hello and welcome back to the MLB DFS slate breakdown for Friday, May 23rd. We're back. We got a big slate to go over and we're going to dive right into it. I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann. Come join us at LineStar. We do have a 7-day free trial. Go to the app stores, Android or iOS, download LineStar app if you don't already have us, and give us free 7 days trial. Check it out. What do you got to lose? Now let's dive in to the old slate today, see what we can pull up and figure out. And as always, we're going to start by the perfect lineups from yesterday, the winning lineups, and then jump into some picks for today, stacks to consider, pitchers to consider, all that good stuff. Yesterday's perfect lineup on DraftKings, Flaherty, Bybee. The two chalk pitchers went nuts. Then we had a two-man Cleveland stack, two-man Houston stack, two-man Braves stack with Ruiz as the one-off, and the winning lineup went to Beaker 913, who had Flaherty, had Bybee, had a good old three-man Houston, had a Pittsburgh player in there, a Milwaukee, had a two-man ATL with Ruiz to round it all out. Congrats to you. You got it done. And now let's check out the lineup on FanDuel. We got Bybee. We got a two-man Houston stack, two-man Braves, and some one-offs. And then the winning lineup went to Mood77, who did have Bybee. Had two Milwaukee, two Washington, two Houston, then some one-offs on these 4-game slates. It's not an awful idea kind of spreading your correlation and have a little bit more mini correlation. We have seen that work several times on those smaller slates. Congrats to Mood. Now let's dive in and check out the slate we got today. We got a big boy slate, 12 games. A lot to go over. I think it's 11 on FanDuel. Yep, 11 on FanDuel. They do not have a doubleheader game in there. Now we'll dive in. Pitchers to consider. Highest owned, Yusei Kikuchi, 20% owned, 8,200 versus the Miami Marlins. Look, we know Kikuchi has upside. 26% K rate over his last 20 with a 3.78 FIP. He has been solid. However, this year it's been a little bit shaky for him. 4.59 FIP over his last 5, but he did face Minnesota, Detroit, Toronto, San Diego, and LA Dodgers. Not exactly a, 5-pack that you really want to face. So we'll give him a little bit of a slide here, but that FIP number is a little bit scary here. He is allowing 33% hard contact, 8 barreled balls out of 78 batted balls. Kind of a high ratio there, but Marlins have been awful since lefties versus lefties. Bad average, bad ISO, bad WOBA. You can absolutely pick on them. I don't mind having a little Kikuchi. I do wish he was a little lower owned, though. Pablo Lopez, 9,900, 20% owned, is another guy that's getting some ownership. Lopez has been lights out. 3.2 FIP over his last 20. 2.01 FIP over his last 5 with a 31.8% K rate. Definitely like him in this spot. The Royals do have decent splits versus righties, though. 289 average, 175 ISO, 335 WOBA, only striking out at 15.6% over the last 20 games. They have been decent, but BVP data is pretty nice for Pablo Lopez. He's striking them out at 28.7%. They have a 217 average. It's 115 plate attempt sample size, so pretty large sample size. He's had decent games versus them. I'm definitely fine going there. Next, we got Tyler Mahle, 9,600, 20% owned versus the Chi Sox. Good old White Sox. Obviously, always want to face them. My worry here is this guy's priced like an elite pitcher, and while he's been very good at limiting runs, being, a good pitcher, working deep into games, he doesn't have that strikeout upside. And we're playing a game of DFS where we need strikeout upside, especially if you're going to be at 9,600. So at 20% owned, I would probably fade him a little bit. When I was doing my research, he was a little lower on the list, and thus I had him liked. But hard for me to bite at that point. Sean Burke, 5,500. He is just super cheap. He hasn't been good. He's in a tough spot versus the Rangers. Don't love this spot whatsoever. I don't know if I can get there personally. Next, we got Chris Sale, 9,400, 16% owned versus the Padres. Sale can get to anybody. He is one of the best pitchers in this game, and he's been dealing. 2.3 FIP over his last 20, 2.4 over the last 5, 31% K rate. Padres don't strike out a ton, but they do hit lefties decently. 275 average, 155 ISO. I don't mind having some Sale. He's too good of a pitcher to not consider at least a little bit. He had 7 Ks versus the Padres in the first game of the season. And that was also when his arm slot was a little bit down. It is back up a little bit. And with that, he has returned to Cy Young form. So I got to worry a little bit about, trying to pick on Sale here. He has gone 7 innings with 9 Ks versus the Padres, last year. And that was at home, where this game will be at home. Don't mind some Chris Sale here, a little depressed ownership. Zach Wheeler, 11K, 14% owned versus the Sacramento A's, or the Athletics, if you will. 2.75 FIP over the last 20, 2.63 over the last 5, 32% K rate over the both. StatCast data is unbelievable. The A's, very hit or miss, very boom bust. I don't mind trying to take some Zach Wheeler, even though he is 11K. It's a big slate. There's going to be a lot to value that you can throw in there to make him worth it. I don't mind some Zach Wheeler. It may price you out of getting those Yankees bats or too many of the Yankee bats, but I love the upside with a Wheeler possibility. And then I got to pull up Nick Pivetta, 10.3K. Ronald Acuna is going to be back. Don't love that. He is allowing 56% fly balls. Don't love that. A lot of barrel balls. Don't love that. But he has been electric this season, and there's big-time upside. Absolutely fine with some Pivetta. Not going to go crazy on him because it's a tough spot with a improved lineup with Acuna back. But I'm fine having a little bit. And Zach Gallen, 8,800. Look, his price is depressed. We know he has the big upside. K rate 26%, 4.11 FIP. He's away where he's been a little bit better. I'm fine with some Zach Gallen versus the Cardinals, although the Cardinals splits are pretty solid versus righties. So it is a little bit of a scary spot, but I don't mind having a little bit of him. Now, let's get over to FanDuel. Our high owned over here is Sale, Wheeler, Kikuchi, and I kind of agree with all of that. Sandy Alcantara is popping up a little bit at 8K. Look, he's versus the Angels. Angels have been hitting. The Angels can hit the bombs, but they also strike out a lot. So at 8K, I have a little bit of interest, but I don't know what's going on with Alcantara. Last 2 years, he's just totally fallen off. I know he's coming back from injury. But 4.67 FIP, 5.89 over the last 5. I don't mind trying to buy low a little bit on Alcantara and hope I, am able to come up with something there. And let's get on over to some stacks here. Oh, I think you can consider Mole and Pablo Lopez as some other pivots over here, or Pivetta if you want. Outside of that, I'm probably not going to get too wild. Don't love the other cheap options here. Maybe some Zach Gallen at 9,300 as well. And view stacks. What do we got going on here? We're going to start with our highest owned stacks, which is the Yankees. No surprise. It is a 12-game slate, and they are 85% owned. That is super, super high owned, but they have an implied run total of 7. That is wild. We do not see that high that often. Now, this stack in particular is going to be almost impossible to get because everybody is 5K plus. But There may be some ways to get a little bit cheaper stacks in there. Yankees are going to be hard to fit in with 5-man stacks and paying up for pitcher. But they carry a lot of weight on this slate. They're going to be super high owned. I think you need to consider them. But it also could be a good spot to fade and just hope they underwhelm a little bit. At these prices, these salaries for all these guys, you're going to have the Yankees really put up a big score. Tanner Gordon on the bump hasn't been great. Makes some sense that Yankees are going super hard. Highest projected, we got Yankees all over it as well. But as I said, these prices are just insane, and it's hard to get a Yankee stack that isn't super high. You pretty much have to put in Vivas or Peraza to, bring down that average value of the stack a little bit. And let's get into the highest value stack. And we got the White Sox versus Mole. Don't absolutely love it, but you may be forced if you want some of those Yankee bats to get some very cheap White Sox bats in there. Highest ceiling, we got the Dodgers and we got Yankees. Dodgers are popping up versus Griffin Canning, 4.62 FIP over his last 20, 4.07 over this last 5. He's been much improved this year. He's been good, but this Dodger team can really get to anybody. I don't mind a little bit of Dodgers in this spot. Yankees obviously popping up as well. And high leverage, we got the Cardinals versus Gallen. Makes some sense. Gallen has got lit up a little bit. This Cardinals offense hits righties well. Don't mind a little bit of them. Prices aren't too wild. Toronto versus Rasmussen. Great hitting weather. It's 90 degrees. The wind's slightly blowing out. Definitely am interested in some Toronto bats today. Padres versus Sale. Don't like picking on Sale, but hitting weather's decent. Padres can get to a lot of teams, but that offense has not been great lately. And A's versus Wheeler popping up. Don't really love that one too much. If we click the teams tab, Yankees at 7. 1.6 run difference between them and the Phillies. That is huge. And it might be hard to get away from some Yankees today, but ownership is definitely there. Philly versus the A's. Poor bullpen behind Jeff Springs. Makes some sense to want to go there in a nice hitter-friendly park. Boston versus Baltimore. Trevor Rogers on the bump. Don't mind some Boston. Tampa Bay versus Eric Lauer. Love that spot for Tampa Bay. Detroit versus Slade Ciccione, I think, is a very, very interesting spot. I'm going to have some interest to them. Baltimore versus Giolito. Giolito is very boom bust. I think they carry a lot of interest as well. And Colorado versus Clark Schmidt. It's a warm day in Colorado. This ball's going to be flying, so you're getting that same hitting weather that you are in the Yankees game, but at way less ownership. Makes some sense. Rangers versus Sean Burke. Love that spot for them. He has a high average hard contact rate, and bullpen is poor behind them. Diamondbacks can definitely get to Mikolas, so very interested there. Houston's interesting versus Hancock. Angels versus Alcantara. He hasn't been that great. Dodgers only at 4.3 implied run totals. They're going to be pretty pricey with that only a 4.3 implied run total. Griffin Canning has been good this season, and I've talked about that on several shows. I don't think this 4.62 is really showing his body of work because it's over last year also where he wasn't very good. I think we got to talk about the Braves. We got Ronald Acuna back. Nick Pivetta has been a guy that's been inconsistent for most of his career. He's shown that a little bit recently versus some tough matchups, and he can let that long ball go. This Braves team is back. They got their star. They've started hitting a little bit. I'm a little interested in them for sure. And hard to kind of go down on this list, but Kershaw got lit up last time. High average hard contact, high average exit velocity. The Mets offense has been slipping a little bit, but they are solid, so I don't mind a little bit. and Cardinals, if you want to get wild, are down here as well as Miami. Kikuchi hasn't been good, and he can get lit up, and that bullpen is terrible, so makes some sense if you want to get wild to go with some Miami as well. And that'll do it for us today. It was a quick one, but we got it done. It was a great week. Hope you guys did well. Let's win some money. Come join us at LineStar, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to y'all later. Peace!